How's it going, guys? My name's Shane. Welcome back to the Horror Basement, another installment in the classic horror review series. Today we're going to be talking about The Killer Shrews from 1959. Now, this movie follows Captain Thorn Sherman. Sorry, the names in this movie are kind of crazy. So Thorn Sherman, he is a seaboat captain. He's a no-nonsense character, and he does not give a shit about science. And him and his first mate, Rook, who is the pilot of the ship, he is an older black gentleman who apparently is also a Dixieland jazz singer, along with being a boat pilot. But Sherman and Rook are delivering supplies to the island lab of Dr. Milo Cragis, who is doing research into overpopulation. So they get there and they meet the inhabitants of the island, which includes Dr. Cragis, his beautiful young daughter Anne, their two assistants, Dr. Bane, who is a typical lab coat wearing nerd, and Jerry, who is a drunk asshole that waves a shotgun around everywhere, and also Mario, Craigis's Latino butler, or manservant, I suppose. And after explaining to the audience, and also Rook stays behind in the boat to offload the supplies, while Sherman goes with the rest of the group to, I guess, have a drink. And the movie quickly explains to the audience what a shrew is, which neither me or my wife actually knew. I thought it was some kind of ferret creature, and she thought a shrew was a type of bird, but actually it's just like a mix between a mole and a mouse. They're actually pretty cute whenever they're not giant and killer. Which, I mean, we'll get into it, but the animals that are attacking these people are not in any way shrews. But it's explained that due to some fuck up of the experiment, probably by Jerry, who, like I said, just drinks all day. So Jerry fucked up and ended up releasing a bunch of giant mutant shrews onto the island, who are just constantly eating the island into a state of almost full extinction. And that's why the inhabitants of the island want to leave so soon, is because the contamination has gotten out of control, and if they don't leave, they'll be food for the giant shrews. And quickly, the giant shrews end up killing off all the non-white characters. So they start with Rook, who's, offloading the boxes and shit off the beach. And he's chased down and killed off-screen by these killer shrews. So for the wide shots, when they're actually chasing people around, what they did to make these giant killer mole rats was they took bloodhounds, they took dogs, and they put vests on them with a bunch of fuzz to make them look like big rats or whatever. So this dude just gets chased up a tree by dogs and he gets killed off screen. And not long after, they're circling the compound and they have to lock it down. And they also end up killing Mario and Bane. And Bane's death is funny because, like I said, he's the nerd character. And he gets swiped by one of these creatures before Sherman kills it. And apparently their blood or saliva is so poisonous that if you come into contact with them and get cut, you pretty much die in a matter of moments. So Dr. Bane gets sliced in the leg, and he sits down at a typewriter and starts typing until he slumps over dead. And Dr. Cragis pulls the paper out of there. He's like, my God, he wrote down all the symptoms for the benefit of science, knowing what it felt like. Which I just find it funny how everyone in this movie is such a one-note stereotype. It's the black guy, the jazz singer, the the Latino guy's like a butler, a manservant, and then this dweeb with the glasses and the lab coat is just like, I must record my symptoms for the betterment of mankind. Uh, yeah, so essentially the rest of the movie is just them trying to escape the island, while Sherman has all of his attempts undermined by Jerry. Yeah, Jerry is salty because Anne has taken a liking to Sherman, and apparently prior to this, prior to him being like a fuck up and an alcoholic, Jerry and Anne were actually engaged to be married. So Sherman's trying to rally everyone together and get off the island, and Jerry low-key attempts to like kill Sherman a bunch of times. Like they get in a fight over a gun, and of course Sherman beats his ass, and then Jerry attempts to like leave Sherman for dead to get killed by the giant shrews. Oh, by the way, whenever they're not like dogs in rat suits, that whenever they have like the close in shots, it's just like a very aggressive hand puppet. It's like, and still it doesn't look anything like a shrew because it's like basically a big like mangy dog head. They're just like rah, 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 rah. But anyway, they leave Jerry behind because he's being a dickhead and climbing up on the roof. And what they do to escape the island is they use a bunch of rope to tie big like chemical drums together, and they cut like peepholes in them and use it as like a little tank to where they're all just like crab walking. That way the giant shrews can't bite them, and they make it to the beach and swim out to Sherman's boat and escape. And of course, Sherman and Anne end up together at the end. They have a little kiss, and that's it. So overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I mean, it's not good, you know what I mean? But it was definitely a fun watch, and very very interesting how like science and everything was viewed back at like the late 50s, early 60s. But really, it's just a fun, low budget kind of schlocky movie that's good for a few laughs. So overall, I would recommend this one. So if y'all enjoyed this video, please leave a like, join the Basement Army by hitting that subscribe button today, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Thank you.